So if you're anything like me, sometimes you just have these waves of emotions, and that sounds so deep. Have these waves of emotions. Sounds like a film. Waves of emotions. And no matter how shit you're feeling, no matter what is going on, you just jump on your bike, particularly when the weather is half decent, or just literally it's not raining, and it just changes your mood and everything just makes sense. And that's one of the beautiful things with motorcycling, and I've only just probably discovered it over maybe the last, I don't know, 5 years, I would say. And that's when I had to rely on a motorcycle for everything, in the sense of it was my main form of transport. And prior to that, when I lived in the UK before I moved to Spain, probably most people, a motorbike for me was just something I used at the weekends, and I had to go as fast as I possibly could and look as cool as I possibly could, and that generally would mean sports bikes, all in the leathers and so on, knee down every single corner, all that sort of stuff. And then as you get older and you get wiser, like a Shaolin monk, you realise that it's not actually all about that. And motorcycling, that there's so many more sides to motorcycling than just going all out like Valentino Rossi, put on the gear every single time. There's a side to motorcycling that's really liberating. And again, that might sound like bollocks, and even, you know, when I think about going out on my motorbike, I think to myself, like particularly in the early days, again, I have to go far away. And what I mean by that is, you know, leather up and go out for the whole days, where like today it's a Saturday and, you know, there's not much going on and the weather's been a bit iffy today, and I'm sort of decompressing from the week and just jumping on this bike and just literally poodling around on it, not going nuts on it. I'm in jeans. This bike just, I don't know, it enables you to just chill out. And I guess that's quite a nice segue really onto talking about this bike. So as you probably know, if you're following my channel, you know I've currently got an S1000R, a BMW S1000R, and there's you know, I haven't really got many bad things to say about this bike. I haven't had it a year, but I can tell you I've done well over 2,000 miles on it. So I've been using it and I've done all sorts of crazy riding on it. Haven't taken it on a track, but that just highlights one of the things with this bike. Like today, I'm just not feeling it today. I don't want the leathers on and to go absolutely bananas. I just want to chill out. I'm just in that kind of chill mood. And 25 mile an hour, fourth gear, down the seafront, cruise control, super comfortable, no stress, and it's just easy. It's just, oh, so easy. The magical thing about this bike, and I don't know if it's because of all the electronic whiz bangs and so on, but what it does is it just mirrors your mood. It really mirrors your mood, and it kind of has this telepathic way of communicating with you, in the sense of if you do feel like just chilling out like I'm doing now, you can do, but if you really want to go nuts, you can, and wherever you point the bike it wants to go. It is such a good bike. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. Maybe man rides bike and talks bollocks. I think that's probably a good title as any. I love those cars. What a fantastic piece of parking. Look at that. That's it. No problem at all, mate. Look at that, feeding the wheel. So that also leads me on to thinking about why I was thinking of changing this bike. And you know, yesterday I test drove the S1000R, and that is a quality bike as well. That really is a fantastic bike. But post thoughts around that bike when I've got this is what that S1000R I don't think can do is this. I'm not too sure, and it's quite possibly it can do that. It is possible that it can just chill out like I'm chilling out on this now, you know, but like I'm sort of sat upright with this bike. There is literally no weight on my wrists at all. I don't know if I can do that with the S1000RR. I don't know if it's going to allow me to do it or as be chilled out, and that's partly the reason I got away from the sports bikes and into the hyper nakeds, is because of the comfort factor. But when you ride something like the S1000RR, that bike is kind of a pinnacle point of engineering for me in motorcycling, with regards to the electronics and the chassis and the way the thing handles and the brakes, the suspension. It's just, and it's cut, you know. Oh God, I'm just talking with you lot about it because I don't know, maybe you can help me out. But you know, and that's why again I wanted to get out on this bike this afternoon, because I'm like, do you know what? I don't really need an S1000RR. I don't really need an S1000R. I don't even really need pants. Why have I got pants on? Joking aside, I guess the point I'm trying to make is we're all kind of getting shit that we don't need. We've all got stuff and chasing stuff that do we really need? I mean, I've been looking at buying a house for about fucking 10 years and I haven't bought it. I've stayed in my 2-bed flat that I bought when I was 22 and I've still got that. And all of my family are like, why don't you buy a house and get a garage and get married and have kids and da da da. I'm like, well, if I buy a big house, one of two things is going to happen. One, I'm possibly going to feel as though that I'm a bit too small for that house. I don't want to have a house and rattle around in it. Is that, I don't know, there isn't a second thing really. I don't know. I'm just talking absolute nonsense, which is probably why this YouTube channel could possibly do well, because I do like listening to people talk nonsense as well on YouTube. Probably just like you watching this, if you're still with me and you're still listening to me, you know, well, yeah, we like to listen to other motorcyclists talk bollocks. It's quite therapeutic actually. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're actually really bored and you're at home and you've literally got nothing to do, you've watched everything on Netflix, you sort of stick on YouTube and you come across a motor vlogger, and there's several of them that I really like, and I'm not going to do any plugs for any of them in particular because I'm sure you've got your own opinion on who's good and who's bad and so on. But when you're just listening to somebody just talk, riding their motorbike, it's kind of soothing. It's very soothing. Even sometimes the reviews, when listening to people talk about bikes, particularly if you're looking at a bike to buy, and you hear so many different opinions and so many different reviews, it gets repetitive, and you kind of like to just listen to people just talk utter bollocks. about bikes, really. I think we're a special breed, motorcyclists. I think we're a special breed.
I need you